Hello, friends. Welcome to another weekly vlog. It is Wednesday. Kind of ashamed to admit that. It is already Wednesday, and I'm just starting this. Well, I filmed a couple of things yesterday, just a couple shots at Starbucks, because honestly, it's just been a work week. So, this week is officially the first week of the spring semester, and although I'm not teaching, I'm still trying to get my brain and my schedule in the swing of things for a semester, and that that transition almost feels harder for this time of year than it does after summer. I feel like after summer break I'm kind of ready for that, but I feel like Christmas break, the holiday break is so short that when you get back into it, and because it's winter, it's like hibernation season, getting back into like regular programming is so difficult. And so it's taken kind of all of my mental power and my focus to get back into that this week. So I apologize for not being on here, but I did make things fun by going to a coffee shop to do my work yesterday. And I think I'm going to try to implement things like that more often just so that I'm not feeling like every moment I'm home, I need to be working because that's an issue. So I did work from home today, but it's okay. Tomorrow, I actually have a full day of going and collecting the bugs that I need to be able to do genetics on to finish out my dissertation. So tomorrow is bug collection day, which is always fun. I get to do that with one of my really, really close friends in the program, and it'll just be nice to catch up with them after the break and also to go make progress towards graduation. That's always kind of exciting these days. So, yeah, still going to be a really work heavy week, but I also am reading a lot. So, currently reading a Kindle book. I'm reading King of Ashes by S.A. Cosby. I have it checked out through Libby. I don't give Amazon more of my money than they already have gotten from me. So I am not a Kindle Unlimited person, but I do use my Kindle to read library books that I check out. So reading that currently, I can tell you how far I am into it. 60%. And yeah, I was at like 30% like a day ago. So we're cooking in it now. I should probably not use the word cooking to describe this book. If you know, you know. Yikes. Yeah, so this book has been really fun to read so far. And by fun, I mean, um, if anyone heard me describe this as fun, they'd probably think that I had some mental health issues, and they probably wouldn't be wrong. But basically, this book is about these three siblings that are kind of brought back together after their father is put into a coma. Their mother disappeared years ago, and their the two brothers are sort of working together because one of the brothers got himself involved in gang activity, and that is probably the reason why the father is in the coma. Yada yada. So, family drama, gang things, sibling relationships. It's everything that I love in a book. And yeah, I'm enjoying it a lot so far. I've only read one other S.A. Cosby book. I read Razorblade Tears last year and also enjoyed that a lot. So I think that he's becoming one of those authors that I can rely on for books like this. I think they're in a very similar sort of vein, sort of like literary thriller, which I am finding that I like a lot more than just like the popcorn thrillers when I'm physically reading a book. So yeah, I'm having a really good time with that. And then I am currently listening to Wreck, which is the sequel to Sandwich. I listened to Sandwich like a week ago, and I'm like halfway done with Wreck. and like that a lot too. Also, family drama-y things. So, yeah, good times with my reading so far in 2026. Having a good time. But yeah, honestly, that's kind of all my week entails. I don't have massive plans beyond that, but if I get up to anything fun, I will be sure to include you. So stay tuned, and I will see you later this week. Hi vlog. It's Friday. I've literally just worked this week. I've done nothing fun, so that's why I haven't talked to you much. I'm still reading the same books. I have like 20% left in both of them. So they're going to be done soon on this vlog. Fingers crossed. But yeah, I just haven't really done much, so I'm sorry. I'm about to go do more work. I've got an afternoon full of genetics work ahead of me, and then I'm meeting a couple friends for dinner, which I'm excited about. And it's at one of my favorite places, so that's always fun. Maybe I'll get some footage of that, but honestly, I haven't seen them for a while, so I'm probably going to forget that the vlog world exists. But yeah, I'm doing okay, just feeling a bit of existential dread for the world. I've cried a lot over the last few days just about like the state that our country's in and how I feel in my place in it and how I feel as someone that's about to graduate with a degree in like wildlife conservation, basically. Like I'm getting a biology PhD, and I want to conserve animals. And I am just feeling weird about my place in the world and what I have to look forward to after graduating and being done with school soon. It's a scary feeling. So I don't want to cry again, but yeah, it's been a weird time in the world and in my brain. And so I have just been working and trying to stay focused. Yeah, so I'll update you when I feel like there's something worth showing you. But again, thank you for being here. And if you're feeling this way too, you're not alone. Yeah. All right. See ya. Hi, I am in the lab and I wanted to show you sort of what I am doing. So basically I'm doing genetics on these bugs called stoneflies, and I am in the process of getting them to like all of the DNA extracted from the bugs, and then to the point where it can get sent off to be sequenced so that we know what their DNA structure is. But doing all of that is a very like hidden science. You can't see the DNA throughout the process until you get to this step where you visualize it to see if all of the steps that you did before worked. It's kind of a scary process because of that. And so I wanted to show you, my stuff is working, and so I wanted to show you like what the gels look like to verify whether or not we extracted the DNA and did all of the things properly. So I'm going to show you what those gels look like because I think it's really cool. Okay, so basically this is what the gel looks like. So all of these little wells are where we put the samples for the DNA, and then you put it in like a charged chamber that makes the DNA travel up so that you can visualize it with UV. So this machine does UV, that's why there's a shield and why I also will be wearing a face shield. So once I turn the light off and turn this on, if the sound of my voice gets worse, I apologize. All right, lights off, closed, turn this on. So up here, this row that you see, that's the DNA. So all of my stuff worked. It all got DNA that traveled up, and then for the row down here, you can see that too. Yeah, really cool. Hello and good morning. It is Wednesday. And I realized that I haven't closed out this vlog, so I'm here to do that. I do have an update. And so I'm going to talk about that and then going to sign off because I need to start the next weekly vlog. So the update that I have for you is that I finished the book that I was reading. I finished King of Ashes. So I was reading this on my Kindle. Overall, loved the book. I'm already excited to read the next Essay Cosby book. So I'm going a little bit out of order in the way that they were released. But the first one that I read was Razorblade Tears. Then I read King of Ashes. And now I'm going to read, what is it? All the Sinners Bleed. So I actually think that I enjoyed listening to Razorblade Tears more than I liked physically reading King of Ashes, if that makes sense. I think that the audiobook was done really well, and so I'm hoping that that's just a trend throughout all of S.A. Cosby books. So I actually checked out All the Sinners Bleed on Libby for audio. So I think I'm probably going to start that today when I drive into work, which is exciting. There was no hold period, which is fantastic. People need better taste in books because you know that some of those books that have like several month waits, I'm like, that's not worth it. Anyway, just my opinion. But yeah, so finished King of Ashes, liked it a lot. And now, yesterday, I started another book. I started Wild Dark Shore, which based on how it's been described and like the blurb and stuff for it, I have had this feeling that I'm going to be obsessed with it. And so it's one of those books that I've pushed off because when I feel like I'm going to love a book a lot, I just push it away because if it doesn't meet my expectations, I'm going to be highly upset. But here we are. I literally started this book like 12 hours ago and we're 20% of the way through it and we had a full night of sleep. So, yeah, I stayed up a bit and read the start of this book and I love it. So if you're not aware, this book is about this it's been described as an eco thriller, which I was like, I don't know what an eco thriller is, but I'm a conservation biologist and I love thrillers. So that's all I needed to know. But the actual premise of the book is just tea to me. So I'll actually describe it. So basically the idea is that you don't really have a huge sense of what's happening in this world, but things are going bad climate wise. It's almost like current events. And there is this place on this remote island that has this seed bank where all of the world's seeds for all of the plants of the world are kept safe. And there is a family at this island, a dad and his 3 kids, that are they're like the maintenance for this place. And it used to be full of researchers and things like that, but the researchers are gone and it's just the family left. And they've kind of been living that way for a while. You get the gist. And then one day, a woman during a bad storm washes onto their island and she's like super badly injured. But they also get the idea that she couldn't be there unless she was trying to get there. And so you also get the idea that this woman is hiding secrets, and this book is told in multiple perspectives. So you get the woman's perspective, you get perspective of the kids and the dad. And yeah, basically just the main idea is that both sides of this equation, the woman and the family, are all hiding a bunch of things. And just like this climate um, horror at the center, I guess, because it's like they have very little time that they're able to survive on this island without getting rescued, things like that, that just add to the suspense of it all. And yeah, I am actually just obsessed with it so far. So, Charlotte McConaughey, I have also heard that her other books are just as solid as this one. And so I'm, yeah, excited that I might be unlocking an author that I'm excited to read like their backlog of. So, yeah, good news in the reading front. So, I did also finish Rec earlier this week. Can't remember if I talked about that. But Rec was like this sequel to Sandwich that I read at the beginning of the year. And I have mixed feelings about Rec. I gave it 3 stars because honestly, I just ate the book up. Um, but I felt like it ended very abruptly and like not in a fun way. I feel like sometimes books can end sort of in the middle of all of the mess, and it's like it feels intentional and like you still feel a bit of closure from the ending itself. However, this book was not that. It basically just built up everything that was happening in the book and then was like, and we're done. Now that I'm thinking about it, I could go rate that 2 stars. I liked what I had read before it ended. So it's kind of a weird thing to have to rate. If you know, yeah. I don't know. But yeah, that's how I feel about Rec. And so, yeah. Eh. All right. So that is all I've got for updates for you because it's Wednesday and I need to start another vlog. So I am going to sign out. I hope that you are having a great day, night, whatever time it is when you're watching this. And I will see you next time. Stay cozy.